It seems that every time I'm about to record, it's going to rain outside. But now thinking about it, I guess it is because I typically record in the afternoon, so kind of makes sense. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. Is my headphone plugged in? Today we're listening to the song I.G.Y by Donald Fagen, of course of Steely Dan fame, off of his album The Nightfly, which was released in 1982. A lot of you guys have requested this song, a lot of you guys, said that this was a great album, as a matter of fact. So I figured in between the wait for more Steely Dan, why not check out a little bit of the solo work. I.G.Y, I have no idea what it stands for, but I imagine we'll find out the meaning in the song. So I'm not going to worry about that. You guys can join me on Twitter. You guys can join me in the comments down below. I hope that you're enjoying all the recent choices and all the recent videos. Of course, you can donate to the channel as well and support that. But you don't have to. You can just stick around and just hang out. Let's do it. This is I.G.Y by Donald Fagen. Yeah, I was just grooving to that. That was just an easy groove. I feel like if you like Steely Dan, you're gonna like I.G.Y, which is why I'm sure you guys had recommended the song to me in the first place. I don't see how you can't like that. On some level, on some capacity, I feel like that's just easy listening, right? That is perfect soul music. Of course, it takes cues from Steely Dan, of which Donald Fagen is half of the band of Steely Dan, along with Mr. Walter Becker. Now, I was just reading a little bit as I was listening to the song, and it seems that this album is the first solo album from Fagen after they had parted from each other as Steely Dan. I like how you can hear his inputs from Steely Dan, of course, in his solo work. It carries over that big soul and jazz, that very smooth sound carries over very well. And of course, Fagen makes it kind of his own. I think that one of the most interesting things in this song is that synthy sound that kind of comes in really like on the ends of the choruses, and then it has a little solo about halfway through at the I want to say at the 3:30 mark or somewhere in there. I wasn't looking at the exact number. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but specifically in the solo section, it's interesting because you can hear, at least to me, I can hear how easily that sound that they used in this song could have been replaced with a saxophone, because it just makes sense. It has that very smooth and jazzy tone, but the synth here adds just a slightly rougher edge to it, whereas a saxophone would naturally be a little smoother. But it does have that same edge to it, and I think that's really cool and a really smart choice to use not only throughout the song, but especially in the solo. Another thing that I really like about this song, and going with Steely Dan as a whole, listening to Steely Dan, I think that one of the most attractive attributes to them, and something that I think is very easy to attach and latch to, is just the way that they layer their harmonies and their melodies. They come across very layered if you listen to it, because of the way that the drums, the bass, the guitar, and the keys come together, along with vocals, of course, on top of that. But if you listen to how strong these melodies are, I mean, strong melodies, I think that perhaps, I don't want to make, big claims, but perhaps they may have been one of the most melodic bands for me to feature on this channel. But it's not just about how they build the melodies, it's how they change the melodies, it's how they break away from the certain melodies in the structure and they descend and ascend. I think the escalation and de-escalation of those melodies is really cool. Sometimes they're used in very minute sections, but it does so much for the structure as a whole of the song. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Listen to this chord change here, coming up. Literally sank down into the verse in which Fagen starts singing. I think that is so creative, just the way that it comes down, because at least for me, I'm not expecting that, right? That's a chord change that's really interesting and really changes the mood of the song, because it starts off very funky, very uplifting, very positive, and then that little change just brings it down a little bit. It doesn't necessarily make it darker, but it definitely changes it. I think that Fagen has an interesting voice because he's not so much of a singer. I think that the way that he sings here is probably closer to how he actually talks, and not necessarily as a singer or as a vocalist. I feel like he just naturally has this polished, suave kind of voice. But the way that he uses that tone in his delivery is really cool. Of course here, of course in Steely Dan, it just works wherever it works. And it adds a different kind of light to this jazz aura that the song has. Instead of it being overly refined and overly polished, it almost has a little more of a personality. And the keys, come on, this is a sweet nocturnal tune. Okay, the whole time I'm listening to this, and especially those keys, I'm thinking just like laid back night drive. That is what this music is for. This is just perfect for that. The horns bringing it up into the chorus, in which the harmonies begin to ride over the beat now. And listen to how this synth picks up. It just sweeps in. Subtle. I think that's a very unique sound. I think that's really cool. And on taking a stab in the dark, one of the instruments used in this song is a synth harmonica. Maybe that's a synth harmonica. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely synthy. It kind of sounds like someone's blowing a little bit, which is maybe why I got the saxophone idea. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know, to guess. Yeah, I think that this was just a really cool song. Like I said, if you like Steely Dan, if you like good music, this is it. This is it. All right, looking at the lyrics and the song title, I.G.Y, and I didn't see it before, but there's a subtitle called What a Beautiful World. I did not notice what I.G.Y stood for in this song. Maybe we'll find out as I go through the lyrics. Standing tough under stars and stripes, we can tell. His dream's in sight, you've got to admit it. At this point in time, that it's clear. The future looks bright. On that train all graphite and glitter, undersea by rail, 90 minutes to New York, from New York to Paris. What a beautiful world this will be, what a glorious time to be free. So looking at the lyrics throughout, it looks like it's talking about like the future and like how mankind is going to have a happy future. Powered by the sun, perfect weather for a streamlined world, there'll be spandex jackets, one for everyone. Okay, well I like the idea of clothing for everyone, but is spandex really the one material that you chose as clothing for everybody? I mean, it's not my preferred choice. Just reading on this side a little bit, it says that the song's title refers to the International Geophysical Year, which took place between 1957 and 58. The song illustrates futuristic concepts that mostly seem outlandish by today's standards, highlighting the rampant optimism of the late 1950s. So maybe this is just me looking back, but I think of the Jetsons, right? It's an older Hanna-Barbera cartoon that I'm sure you and I really love. Along with the Flintstones. I always preferred the Jetsons, so to be honest. And that idealism that people had perhaps back then, and I'm sure still have in some capacity, towards the future, towards where the future may be. And I'm sure that the year 2020 has not quite ended up where we may have thought it would be. But, you know, there's 2021. We can make it up in the future. So just talking about how a lot of problems would be fixed. You know, of course, clothing, so shelter. Powered by the sun, so solar power, which is something that is, you know, starting to gain some steam. A just machine to make big decisions, programs by fellows with compassion and vision. So the use of robotics, the use of electronics, and the digital age coming in, but it's not used by the wrong people. It's used by people that have compassion, that have love, and are looking out for the best interest of others and each other. What a beautiful world this will be. What a glorious time to be free. So that time may not be now, but, I mean, hey, anything's possible. I like the positive outlook of the future. The music is definitely kicking, so that's awesome. This was a good recommendation, guys, so thank you. Of course, I want to know what you guys think of this song. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. I hope that you at least comment down below. I love to read your comments. I enjoy interacting with you guys in the community, so please, by all means, at least stop by and say hi. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a fantastic night, and a beautiful morning, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.